The Kansas Board of Regents is considering offering accelerated bachelor's degrees. The board could change the vote, or the board could vote on the change this month, but the plan includes allowing students to earn a bachelor's degree with as few as 90 credit hours. Right now, those degrees require at least 120 credit hours. Supporters say the 3-year path could cut tuition fees and housing costs and get graduates into the workforce faster. The board says it studied the possibility since last fall when the pilot program was proposed. Regents could vote as early as mid-June.
You'll see